Letter to the teacher community. I was one of your students. I know you can't make the necessary changes, but that does not mean you should continue doing what you do. First of all, I know a lot of you hate the kids. You hate the way they challenge you. Well, they challenge you because they can read your minds. They have a tendency to ask, what would I have to think to match the behavior of the teacher in front of me? And then they act like they have no idea who you are. They don't actually care to know everything. They really just care about one question: whether or not you are a great being that deserves the respect you demand by means of the chain of threats before them. In case you missed it, you are meant to be an inspiration, but you have become a threat. You are threatening your students with bad grades, for which they will be belittled and punished at home. You are threatening them with being held back, for which they will be made fun of and punished at school. The one thing you don't do is threaten them with anger when you are angry at them. They see the real you, and they get a confirmation that in fact nothing you do matters. The internet is full of videos with titles like "Teachers Yelling at Students," "Teachers Losing Their Temper," and yes, students yelling at teachers, which shows not how bad the students are, but the results of their parents and your actions. It shows a mind wired for survival, adapting to threats with anger. We could sit here for hours picking the good from the bad. I'm going to cut that short, very short. I'm going to say this to you: everything you do is bad. All of it. I will give you 2 examples. The moment children are marked with grades, they stop learning for real and focus only on grades. Once you split a subject into 45-minute pieces smeared by tests, it becomes meaningless noise that can only be memorized. This idea of you having a bad day in school because the kids weren't listening or acting properly is madness. You are putting them in a toxic environment, and you waste their time with subjects that cannot be integrated into a unified whole, which is what a healthy mind requires. And have you noticed that they measure their intelligence with your GPA? It doesn't take very long for us to figure out that you grade students based on other grades. The C students always stay C students, unless someone makes a fuss towards a B, and you grant that as to hide your ways within the noise. Every one of your students is a genius. Every one of them has a beautiful mind. Each of those minds is unique, including twins. Minds are like galaxies. No two are alike. There is a special kind of uniqueness within that galaxy. It is the speed of learning and the sequence in which they must connect their stars. There is a blight. Children tend to adopt a culture of the place they are born into. The kid or kids that scare you, that you know are headed for prison. They had their minds poisoned, and you, who was scared of them, you were their last hope. Maybe still are. In case you missed it, teaching is not a job. Car repair is a job. Parents and teachers don't have jobs. Your kids need you less than you think. They are wired for survival. The only thing that can derail them is that blight, the ease with which they are indoctrinated into whatever they are born into. And it is not just violence, it's drugs or theft. It is also poverty. We teach them to accept the poverty they inherit from their parents. In case you are confused why I mention drugs next to poverty, it's because it is a culture that a person is pushed into. No child is an addict, not a thief, not a thug, or born poor. They are all equipped with a mind like a galaxy and an infinity similar to that of cosmos. Poverty, bad parenting, and bad indoctrination, combined with bad or fake education, is what combines to crush those who you think are beyond all help. When you tag a student as a loser, I hope it is within you to comprehend that you are one of the cogs in the machinery that crushes them. I know that many of you like to draw a line and say to yourself that you are not the parent. That you are not just another step in their upbringing. You may be their last hope. So when you say that you are not their parent, it means you don't understand anything. All you can do is try to help the children out of their indoctrination, for as long as you still have your job. After you get fired, you continue on your path. Write, speak, help. Rise to become the great being that they need and help others rise along with you. Whatever you think you are doing, it is causing more harm than good. Stop. Help the children understand that graduation is a fantasy. And college is more of the same, with the added curse of putting them in debt and taking whatever savings they may have. Come on! Help them see that the only way out is startups, becoming a business person, and self-education that doesn't come with a stupid graduation. Grab them by the hand, especially the scary ones, and help them to see that people will give them some seed money so that they can expand their business ideas. Help them know that people want them to succeed in business and that they will take little more than 10% of their success. Are you beginning to see now what your job was supposed to be? Whether or not Socrates said it, he certainly meant it many times. They are wired for survival. They just need to see the truth. Your job was not to fill the vessel. Your job was to kindle the flame. The truth is that what they need is tools, like startups, like self-education. And what they are getting is noise, like your shitty lectures and the meaningless cut-up subjects and the stain of grades that you smear them with. and the garbage of indoctrination that they are getting from almost everywhere else. Grab them by the hand and help them to narrated books at the library and videos on the internet by real teachers, by those who have been voted on by the entire humanity as having something worthwhile to say. Please, help them to find peace in museums, in botanical gardens, in galleries and art exhibits. Help them to watch over the animals at the zoo. Maybe they can find a way to save our tigers. They aren't evil. They are just big kitty cats. Help them become artists with the use of art projectors so that they may meditate at the museums that will grant them space. Help them learn to assemble and use 3D printers so that they may create custom computers and machinery for the upcoming climate change. Make sure that their narrated books never run out. Make sure everyone goes home with an MP3 player full of audiobooks. Let that be the shield that you were meant to be. Rage to help them to self-education. Find every magnificent way that will keep them growing all the way up. That will keep them fighting their way out of their indoctrination, out of that poverty, that our use of money, that our reliance on money put them into, but should reset at birth. And quit being a teacher. Quit being this cog in the machinery that is only ripping their uniqueness out of their minds. This brick-in-the-wall nonsense must stop. Quit and become the great being that they all once wished you already were. What follows is a small and incomplete list of humanity's true teachers, of humanity's true leaders. Greta Thunberg, Michelle Alexander, Sir Ken Robinson, Astra Taylor, Avital Ronell, Martha Nussbaum, Jill Tarter, Brené Brown, Richard Dawkins, Ayaan Hirsi Ali, Ayn Rand, Simone de Beauvoir, Lord Martin Rees, Lawrence Krauss, Daniel Dennett, Sam Harris, Christopher Hitchens, Bill Bryson, P.Z. Myers, Alex Filipienko, Seth Shostak, Sean Carroll, Jared Diamond, Howard Zinn, Noam Chomsky, and Philip Zimbardo.